Hey everybody, it's day 92 on the CDT, and I hiked into town today. You can tell by the blue shirt, the glasses, and the room behind me. Um, it was about 16 miles to hike in. It was, I think, 4.7 miles on the CDT, and then we have 11.3 miles. Basically, it's a side trip. It's non-trail miles to get to a trailhead and then get a ride into Pinedale. So I'm in Pinedale now, and I'm taking a 00. So I got into Pinedale, I think, around 2 o'clock today. So I have about 2.5 days to rest, get some town food, and plan, kind of reconfigure my resupply strategy for the next couple of stops, and also plan my Yellowstone permit. So I got to call Yellowstone tomorrow because my original permit reservation is for August 11th through the 16th, and I'm about 10 days ahead of that. So I'll give them a ring tomorrow and get a new itinerary for Yellowstone and permit, and then I'll be able to finish the resupply strategy, and then I'll get to rest an extra day on Saturday. So today was an interesting day because I didn't realize the offshoot trail, the side trail that we had to take to get down to the trailhead, is actually pretty popular. So we were encountering, it was just me, I wasn't hiking around anybody today. So I was hiking around and encountering other groups that were out just for 2 or 3 days or 5 days or whatever it was. And the people were from all over the place. So there were people from Utah and Idaho and Colorado, so the surrounding area, and then there were some people that came from a little bit further away and were hiking in with friends and whatnot. A lot of fishermen and fisherwomen. There are loads of lakes in the area that we just hiked through in the winds up here in Wyoming. So they're catching rainbow trout and goldies and brookies, and I think those were the three major that I heard. One guy had a crazy story. He caught like a really big goldie with his hands. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. That group also caught some rainbow and goldies with fishing rods, but that's pretty boring compared to just grabbing a fish with your hand. The fish wasn't stuck or anything. It was just in open water, and it was a good sized fish. It was a several pound fish. I didn't ask him how big it was or if they weighed it, but if I had to guess, it was probably like a 5 or 6 pound fish. It was a good size. It was a good sized fish. However, I haven't been fishing for a while, so maybe I'm underselling it. Maybe it's larger. I did get to see a picture of it. It was a good size. So I'm probably going to keep this video short because once I get everything settled tomorrow, I can make a longer video either tomorrow or Saturday and let you know what the next few steps are. So I've talked about the Great Basin and the winds in Wyoming. The Great Basin is essentially kind of the beginning of Wyoming. The first day or so in Wyoming, it's kind of transitioning from Colorado. So there was still, we went up to 11,000 feet, I think, on one of the, it was by Battle Pass, I think, is where we went. But the peak itself is named something else. There's a lookout up there, and I'm forgetting what the name of the peak was. It's like Brigadier or something like that. Brigade, I don't know. And so once we got past that first day or two in Wyoming, where it kind of transitioned from Colorado, it was flat, and that's what the Great Basin is. It's just this huge open space, and you can see forever. You can see storms that are miles and miles and miles away, and it's it was good hiking. It was quick hiking, and it was good to not have a lot of elevation up and down, or the elevation we had was pretty gradual. It was nice just to kind of stretch out the legs. I had quite a number of large mileage days, upper 20s, lower 30s, and the area was beautiful in its own way. I mean, it's nothing but, I don't want to say nothing but it's essentially like sagebrush plains and grazing fields, and it's beautiful. The sunrises and sunsets were absolutely beautiful because there was nothing blocking it, so you could see it. And then we shifted into the winds, and the shift was pretty quick. Highway 28 that goes into Lander, Wyoming, is kind of the breaking point, at least from what I can tell. South Pass City, where I did a resupply package, is south of Highway 28, but only by a few miles. And so on Sunday, when I did my resupply in South Pass City, I passed over Highway 28, and you can see the change immediately. It goes from these like hot, shadeless, wide open spaces that you're hiking miles and miles across to suddenly you're back in forest, and there's water everywhere, including mosquitoes. But the water's like every 2, 3, 5 miles. It's, you're not hiking 9, 10, 15 miles between water sources like in the Great Basin. And so the winds are definitely, lush. A lot of water, a lot of lakes, a lot of streams, creeks. Like I said, a lot of flapjack fools. And you start getting elevation again. So the cirque of the towers that I did, I mentioned that a couple days ago. That's in the winds. And then after I get out of Pinedale, I think it's almost immediately. It's within like 5 or 6 miles. I have another alternate that is known as the knapsack coal, which is supposed to be absolutely beautiful, just like the cirque was. So I will likely hike the knapsack coal, and then after the knapsack coal, the CDT was rerouted. The original route actually does some road walking and allows you to go into, I believe it's pronounced Du Bois, Wyoming. That's the original. The reroute goes around that, and it makes it just like trying to get into town today, where we have to hike 11 miles that are non-trail miles and then get a 15-mile hitch or ride. Like the reroute goes away from where you go into Du Bois, and so it sounds like most hikers are sticking with the original CDT route. And because I need town calories, based on yesterday's video of me just needing to take better care of myself, I'll probably I want to stay on the CDT proper as much as possible, but it just doesn't make sense when I need to go into Du Bois for town calories, and the original CDT allows me to do that. So I'll probably drop into Du Bois. I don't know if I'll zero. It might be one of those things where I have like a Nero, where I just do a couple miles in the morning, get into town, do a resupply, and then either stay that night or get out of town. And then after that, it's Yellowstone National Park, and then we're in Idaho and Montana. So things are going quick, or it seems like they're going quick. So anywho, that's kind of a layout of the Great Basin going into the winds. I believe the knapsack coal is part of the winds, and I think the winds are essentially all the way up to Yellowstone, and then after that it's the park, and then we move into to the other states. So I hope everyone's well. I hope that everyone's staying healthy and happy. Today's shout out goes to the gentleman who gave me a ride at the trailhead to come into Pinedale. They had been out for 5 days with a group of friends. I think it was like 6 or so of them. they were out fishing and camping and having a good old time, and they were one of the groups that came from kind of all over the place. So a huge shout out. Appreciate them being open to giving just some random guy a ride to town. And as soon as they found out that I was hiking the CDT, they had quite a number of questions, and so I was glad to pass any information I could on to them, especially in exchange for the ride. And so thanks to them. All right, everyone, have a nice evening, and I'll talk to you either tomorrow or the next day. Bye.